Never Split the Difference, it teaches you all these kinds of techniques on negotiation. And that's what helped me close like a $120,000 deal last year. All the techniques I learned in that book really helped me close that deal. So that's also, once you start applying it and getting those results, like not even results that big, but just like you see the results of it in your life, like that really reinforces that. Like I think MJ calls it like the feedback loop. So once you start applying something and you do it until you get feedback, like either positive or negative, and you readjust and you keep doing it, you keep doing it, the more natural it becomes and the more fun it becomes because you get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it all comes down to a growth mindset. Like if you have a growth mindset, like life can be one big adventure. Like it's just like I don't know what will happen in my life, but like I don't know. I'm excited. It's like it's just once you have that kind of mindset, then anything can be a learning experience. And I always have faith that new opportunities and things will come my way. So I don't know. It's fun.
Hell yeah. Cool. So $120,000 sale using some techniques you learned in Never Split the Difference. Can you talk a little bit about what some of those moments were?
Yeah, sure. So like I approached this client like in the beginning of last year, so like January 2020, and we were talking about, okay, what kind of problem do you have? What do you need help with? And they were super like, okay, let's get a demo, let's get this solution in and everything. But like I could have gone along and I did. So I was like, okay, these people are super excited and they basically just want to get like an offer to fix their problem. So it's all smooth sailing, like it's super easy. So I sent them the offer and then I didn't hear anything back for like 2 months. So I was just calling them and like nothing, nothing, nothing. And then, but what I realized is I was just going along with them, but I wasn't asking them any questions because I was afraid of the answers. Like once you start digging, you might uncover some things that might kill the deal. So I was just moving along, like all smooth sailing. But in the end, like I'd made them an offer without knowing their buying reasons. So that's when I really started to apply like the mirroring and labeling technique. So let's say um, you say, well, we have a problem with our internet. Your internet, like that's how you mirror people. So you basically repeat the last part of their sentence. And once you do that, people start explaining themselves more. So like that's how you dig deep in what people are actually thinking. So they were saying like we have this old program, and it's on a laptop, and if the laptop crashes our whole system comes down. So I was like, your whole system comes down? It's like, yeah, we basically had that happen before. Like we had another company that had to come in and fix it. So we know it's super unreliable and it might result in like big fines for us. Big fines? He's like, yeah, there's all these rules and regulations and like there's all these privacy laws that we're not abiding by at the moment. You're not abiding by any privacy laws. He's like, no, it's like so I just kept on digging and kept on digging, and it's super simple, and it's a technique that Chris Voss describes in the book. And then so he's like, we have a big problem with our privacy laws, and then you start to label what they're saying. So well, it sounds like that's something you need to fix urgently. And he's like, yeah, like it's like if we don't fix this soon, we'll have a big problem, like a big problem. Um, so it sounds like you're really looking for a solution. Yeah, we're really looking for a solution. Like, oh, so and that's called labeling. And those techniques are in the book. Like they're um, super like practical. You can apply them immediately. So that's what I did. And then there's also a few questions in there that helped a lot in closing that deal. So um, one of them is, what happens if you do nothing? like that's great for triggering like those kinds of having people think about, yeah, what does happen if we do nothing. um, and then another one was um, something about like people that weren't in a meeting, like um, what are they looking for in this deal. And it's basically trying to uncover people that aren't at the table but do have a stake in the solution, trying to I think Chris describes it as deal killers. There's usually some things that are behind the scenes that you don't get to see, but that could kill the deal. So I really try to uncover those, like, and then like the standard sales question. So, okay, let's say we get a solution that solves your problem. Like, who's going to sign for it? Are you going to sign for it, or is it someone else? No, it's someone else. Okay, what does that person want in this solution? Like, what's at stake for them? And really trying to dig out all those things. So I made that first offer. They declined it. They're like, well, it's too expensive, blah, 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 all that kind of shit. So, um, and then for a few months, I didn't hear back from them. So, like, I was calling them basically every day. Like, I want to get them on the line. Like, I'm not going to give up. Um, and then after a couple of months, they came back and said, well, the problem is still there, obviously. So we really want to solve the problem now. Okay. So, but at that point, I knew everything about their situation. I knew that they had an old solution that was running on a license that was no longer valid. I knew they had that laptop crash before that was basically running the whole system. So I knew it was unreliable. I knew what their budget was. I knew who was going to sign for it. So at that time, I basically had everything I needed. And that's when I um, really, really went on closing the deal. So I'd say in the beginning of the year, I tried to close too quickly. And now I had everything I needed. So, but we ended up closing in December. So first talked to them in January and I closed them in December. And I think I must have called them like 50, 60 times without getting a response. So,
Wow.
but those like those questions, those that mirroring technique, that labeling technique, like those things are in a book that costs $8. So, and it helped me close that deal. So that's super powerful. Like once you realize that that kind of knowledge is at your fingertips, and if you can apply it, you get those kinds of results because they're based on like he's an FBI hostage negotiator. I think he'd been for like 20 years. So someone worked for 20 years and basically wrote all their life lessons, all their tips, techniques, and everything in a book that's $8. And you get to buy it and use them in not in a hostage negotiation, luckily, but like in a sales deal. And they work. So like that's just amazing to me.
Yeah. That story is amazing. And the techniques, I mean, you were just like explaining how it works, but every time you did mirroring, I felt compelled to like it was like, oh, I need to take action. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a really powerful thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's it's funny because he also has a master class, like it's um, like a negotiation masterclass on masterclass.com. So there's actually an exercise in there where he explains how it works. So he hires an actor or an actress in this case that's just there that doesn't know what he's going to do. So the technique he's going to apply. And he's in there talking to her, and all he does is mirror and label. All he does for like 10 minutes straight. And at the end of that conversation, like he basically told her nothing about himself. Like he's just talking about her and mirroring and labeling everything she's saying. And at the end, he's like, so how did that feel? And she's like, yeah, I really got to like you. Like I really got to know you and everything. And he's like, but did you realize that I didn't tell you anything about myself? Basically, we were just talking about you. And she's like, wow, I didn't even know we were just talking about me. And all he did was mirror and label her. So it's super fun to see what that does to someone. Like she knows she's there in a negotiation masterclass. She could have read his book and everything, and she still, even though she knows she's in that environment, it still works because that's just human psychology and behavior. And it's just so interesting to put that into practice and actually see it work.